Hi there, I'm DJ Alex Brown and welcome to today's gig log. In today's gig log, I'll be DJing for the wedding of Paul and Whitney here at the Providence G in Providence, Rhode Island. The services I'll be providing for the wedding tonight are music and microphones for the ceremony, cocktail hour music, and reception music, emceeing, as well as lighting. So first off, I'd like to start by discussing the venue. This is one of my personal favorite venues to DJ at because they are super flexible and easygoing and they have everything together. Obviously, for a vendor, it's never a pleasant experience when you're working with a venue that does not have their things together. And for my other business, It's Lit, where we do marquee letter rentals and uplighting rentals and things like that. We've done a ton of those things here, and they've also been very flexible with us on setup time and picking stuff up for those. Sometimes there's just not enough space in the car or the truck. Not only that, it is absolutely a beautiful venue, as you can tell by some of these shots. And there is an interesting history behind this venue, which I'll talk about a little later, and that will explain why it's called the Providence G. So the ceremony here is typically done on the rooftop. It's very, very warm out today, so I'm regretting wearing my all black, and I won't be putting my tie on until after I'm all done going outside because it is just so hot. For the ceremony today, on the rooftop, they actually have a built-in sound system that's pretty good. So I was able to use just my own mixer and microphones, and as usual, I did tune the microphones so that we could avoid as much feedback as is avoidable. That made my setup outside super easy, and the cocktail hour is also going on the rooftop as well, and it's all one space, so there's only one setup out there, and those speakers that I used for the ceremony that are built in and owned by the venue also cover the cocktail hour area. Now let's talk about my reception setup. There's nothing super crazy to highlight in the setup tonight. It's a fairly straightforward sound system, 2 speakers and a subwoofer just to fill in some of that low end. And I also have my basic dance floor lighting, which is 4 wash lights on a T-bar. The only thing I did want to note about the sound, and another reason that I really like this venue, it sounds very good in this room with only 1 subwoofer. Some of you may know that I'm a pretty big gearhead when it comes to speakers and stuff, and I have a lot of knowledge from prior experience with sound and sound engineering. But to put it simply, the room sounds really good. And I only have 1 subwoofer, and it should be plenty enough for tonight. One thing I will say for any of the potential couples that might be watching this video is this room looks really amazing at night with uplighting. It is a little bit challenging, more on the DJ side, to set speakers up because the best way from a sound perspective to set it up would be to set it up with speakers on each side of these doors that come from the street into the ballroom. And the DJ is always set up off to one side, so you have to run a lot of wires. I knew that and prepared for that today. But now before we start doing introductions, which is obviously the first part of the reception, I want to talk about the slight change to the timeline for tonight for introductions. Introductions are typically done, and then typically the couple goes directly into their first dance, and then usually you go directly into toasts, have dinner, and then mother and son, father, daughter, and cake cutting are after dinner. In the case of this wedding today, the couple wanted to get everything out of the way as soon as possible, so they're going from their first dance directly into mother-son, father-daughter, toasts, and then starting dinner. And after dinner, we'll open the dance floor. We don't have to worry about cake cutting tonight because they're not doing an announced cake cutting. And the mother and son and father-daughter dances will already be out of the way. So I have had some couples ask at times, do you have any recordings of mixes or instructions and things like that? And because I've been so busy, I usually forget to record these things, so I'm specifically making it a point to record it today so that I have something that I can show to couples, because that's one of the very important things is to be able to, looking for a DJ is knowing that they know what they're doing when it comes to making announcements, making introductions, the biggest difference between, say, any DJ and a wedding DJ that I would personally say is the fact that any DJ can play music. Not every DJ knows how to make all the announcements for a wedding and is confident enough on the microphone to make all the announcements for a wedding. Personally, I've had plenty of time with mic training. I'm very comfortable on the microphone, although I do like to use it sparingly because I don't like to over talk. And personally, I think using the microphone too much is cheesy. That's my personal opinion. But anyway, let's get into taking a look at the reception, the introductions, and some things like that. And I'll hopefully be back to talk to you around.
Things that I learned over the past couple of years is things happen when you're...
Appreciate that all of you could be here today to celebrate. It's been such an amazing day so far, and Whitney really is a stunning bride, isn't she?
I want to talk about the history of this venue and why it's called the Providence G. So this ballroom here is actually, it used to be the lobby for the Providence Gas Company. So the building actually on the outside in the stone facade of the building says Providence Gas Company.
Hey guys, so as I was editing this gig log, I realized that I accidentally deleted some footage that I shouldn't have because I had to record some things on my phone. So I need to kind of ad-lib and re-record some things. I apologize to the DJs on YouTube. I know you guys hate when I don't actually record things at the venue, but sometimes it happens. I am way too busy and sometimes this stuff just happens. So the first thing I need to talk about is dinner. Dinner ran very long. And I was ready to start dancing. I had finished my dinner and everything. And I had a great conversation with the photographer over dinner, and she sent me some awesome photos, which I'll drop in here. So I always love when photographers send me photos like that and take photos for me, because obviously I am not a photographer. People were starting to go on the dance floor because they wanted to dance. And I asked Whitney, hey, can I open the dance floor? And she was like, give me a couple more minutes. I gotta go to this one last table and then go do this, and then we can open the dance floor. Usually people are like, yes, let's do it. But as an experienced wedding DJ, I know that you have to kind of use some discretion. Usually ask the couple to make sure that they're good. Especially in this case, the couple was walking around to each table, greeting guests and things. And the catering staff, make sure that they're good. In this case, they wanted me to announce that there was a dessert table out. The venue needs to move things before people can dance. There's all different things, so it's always just best to check in with either the venue staff or the catering. If it's a separate catering company, then you want to check with them. So for me as a DJ, the only one downside to this venue is that there's not really any parking. It's all street parking, so I had to run out to a parking meter every couple hours and drop change in it.
So I am recording this quick wrap up in my car because it seemed like the venue staff really wanted to get out of there, even though it's only 11:37. I try and be respectful of that. That's a common tone I've mentioned in a lot of my gig logs. It was a pretty varied crowd, so I had to play a lot of different music. But the couple came over to me at the end of the night and thanked me about 100 times. The bride gave me a hug. She was like, "Thank you so much." She was really appreciative. She said she's so happy that she booked me, so that's obviously the outcome that I always like to have. That about wraps up this gig log. There's not much else to add, so I hope that you enjoyed the gig log, and make sure to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. As always, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. That's it for this one. Peace.